You ever wonder why she is addicted to her cell phone? I'm gonna put you on game real quick. 3 reasons. Number 1 is because she bored. Number 2, she looking for an escape. But number 3, she's looking to be awakened. My boys. Before I launch into this one, I want to say this. Ladies, the builder of people, while it is for all, it is intended for men. As you have heard me say time and time again, publicly, privately, social media, in these episodes, we as men are the problem. Yep, absolutely. It's mostly because of what we allow, whether it be due to ignorance or lack of wisdom. But I don't apply to either one of those theories. And so ultimately, this episode, as all of my episodes, are for the fellas. Why? Because we got to be better. We got to do better, which means we got to love, lead, and elevate better. So now that we done got the gray area out of the way, we done talked about the elephant in the room, kings, let's get back to the subject. She bored. Here's the thing, fellas, you got to understand. Men are logical, right? Women by nature are emotional. That is a fact. Feminist mindset, modern female mindset, don't apply because that bull junk don't work. So we're going to get right back to the material at hand, which is this. Women by nature, by design, love to live in their emotions. And guess what? Everything about life is logical. Her going to work, her having to cook, clean, nurture. These are all realities that require what? A lot of logistics. And so, especially if a woman works outside of the home, that can become incredibly draining. And ultimately, because she's not able to live in her emotions or her femininity the way she would like to, boredom, which is what? She just want to feel something. Yeah. That's how things are wired. She just want to feel something. So that boredom, typically as an escape through social media or even through gaming or whatever phone universe you want to live in at the moment, is usually a symptom of boredom, largely related because we now live in a generation where for the first time in over 200,000 years, only within the last 50 years of the feminist movement has there been this push to what? Want to no longer operate under the leadership of a man in the home. Guess what? Only to work for a male boss where she has even less ability to be her full self, to now comply with the requests and demands of a job. It was the greatest trick ever run on society to what? Maximize capitalism. Because guess what the great powerful elite understood, and why this whole feminist, and this is not even what I'm here to talk about, but I'm gonna put you on game. This whole feminist movement was nothing but a function of economy. Let me prove it to you. Guess what the power elites figured out? That if you can separate the mother from being head of house in terms of nurturing and caring for the family, it's going to do what? Require 2 cars. It's going to require expenditures as it relates to gas, as it relates to lunch, breakfast, dinner, office supplies. Now she don't just need home clothing, she need home and work clothing. You see, it was a function of economics, one of the greatest lies ever told to mankind. And when you look at every social ill, the numbers drastically, exponentially worsened in terms of every measurable data point known to mankind. However, let's get back to boredom. What that basically means is she's now being forced to live in a logical world when she just want to feel something with her emotions. So guess what? Boredom operates. Boredom creeps in. Why? Because she's now being asked to operate outside of what her default design was. I know feminists is having a fit right now. Really don't care because this channel ain't for you. So let's move on to the next thing. She looking for an escape. Unfortunately, what my mentor taught me a long time ago really is a point I need to emphasize right now. He said, Shaun, there are 3 things you got to always be careful of. Never compete, never compare, never compromise. As it relates to why she is addicted to her phone, is largely based on the desire to escape her normal day-to-day existence. Why? Because the female nature is naturally drawn to want what it sees. But here's the trick that the enemy played, is almost everything you see on social media is an optical illusion, and it's a lie. The fact of it is, the couples who I know who are posting weekly have the worst relationships. Like, while you're trying to pretend and sell me on this concept of your relationship, we all know what the truth is. So my point is unfortunately what the enemy has used and really taken advantage of, understanding female nature is to want what she sees, is to broadcast lies. And so what happens? Now all of a sudden, she don't feel like she's pretty enough. Why? Mostly due to mass media and photoshopped images and surgeries and, never mind that the vacation was paid for with a stolen credit card. Never mind that he bought her that new whip by running some sort of scheme or scam. But we're going to forget all that reality, right? And deal with the fact that the enemy plays on her desire to feel something through escapism, which is what social media provides. An escape from her real world. And unfortunately, what happens 9 times out of 10? Now, all of a sudden, her house ain't good enough. The designer she got ain't new enough. Car ain't as nice as she thought. Her trip don't look like the fake stunting trip. So now guess what? She becomes increasingly displeased because she is unfortunately being misled through the optical illusion that is social media. And so the addiction right now even stems scientifically with the dopamine, because dopamine is the same chemical reaction that happens. We as a human body are one of the world's greatest chemical factories that ever exist in mankind. And so a dopamine hit that you get from a hug or a great conversation or from a kiss or from, S3X intimacy, now is the same chemical released by seeing through our eye gate this thing called Instagram, Facebook, and TikTok, and all these other things. But it's a lie. The data even proves that. The greater amount of time man, woman, young, old, children included, spend on social media, they exponentially increase with what? Depression, anxiety, negative other thoughts, reading between the lines. The more and more time you spend on it. Why? Because you now all of a sudden, through that compare and compete mentality, now start to become displeased with your own life because you're buying and believing a lie. So let's focus on the third thing, because again, this is for my kings. Again, it is our job to love, lead, and elevate with patience, with gentleness, with kindness, with understanding, never referring forcefully. Why? Because as I shared previous, you let your thoughts be known. Hey, I ain't feeling this, or why are we doing this, or help me understand, or tell me what your plan was, or what was your vision, or what were you thinking in this situation? And now guess what? As I like to say, now I'm going to tattletale to God, which is, all right, this is the circumstance, this is the situation, and it ain't about changing someone else. It's about, Lord, change me so that I know how to best manage, steward, and lead this situation, because that's what we as men are called to. And so the awaken, what I mean by that is you, king, have to understand that the 2 points of reality of when a woman most falls in love are when 2 events occur. Space and distance, meaning what? Absence makes the heart grow fonder. It's when you're not all there is when a woman most falls in love. Number 2, as it relates to this awakened concept, what you have to understand is she is awaiting an opportunity through your leadership to serve, incubate, and nurture something. And I'm glad I waited for this point for the third thing, because right now we finna get into the sweet spot. What do I mean by awaken? Through vision and purpose, king, you have got to give her an assignment. You've got to give her a purpose. You've got to give her a vision, something to incubate and nurture as it pertains to the God-given purpose that he has for you. So What does that look like? It depends on the phase. What it looks like is, okay, you've been at home for 2 or 3 years. I can see you're not operating in your best design. What that means is what? Idle time is the enemy's playground, meaning all of this idle time in idle means you're not being productive. And if you're not being productive on a day-to-day basis, I don't care whether you be male or female, however young or old, no matter how rich or how pretty you are, right? The reality of it is when you are in idle, you're not growing. Everything in life is either growing or dying. There is no in between. So what does that look like, King? Okay, all right. Really not so much related to money. Here, we got to start to be active. We got to start, you know what I'm saying, shooting in the gym again, right? Because you ain't getting better. You dying mentally, emotionally, physically. So what that means is, no, we got to find something temporary. Now, once we do that, what that means is in the confines of our purpose and vision, you need something to incubate, something to nurture. So maybe it means you become a part of my business on an admin basis for a season. Or maybe what that means is, okay, baby, yeah, that business idea that you told me about 6 to 12 months ago, yeah, let's start figuring that out. Like, let's start understanding from a business plan perspective, from a financing perspective, from a build out and implementation and execution standpoint. What do we need to learn now? What plans, what purposes do we need to start considering in order for you to be fully awakened within the realm of the destiny to which we've been called to? Whatever that looks like, that's going to be unique and specific to your situation. So what we've arrived at is, why is she addicted to the phone? Is because she bored. She just want to feel something. Number two, she want to escape her day-to-day monotony. And unfortunately, all that does is create more problems because she's prone to compare and further create negative feelings of, inferiority or depression or anxiety. What? Because she on idle. You're either growing or you're dying in life, personally and professionally. There is no in between. But what that means, King, is, again, you are the solution. Be the change that you want to see. We now need to awaken in her that nurture and that incubate mindset that God has so graciously gifted her with. And so there may be seasons where it may just mean, working 1 or 2 or 3 days outside of the house. Not largely for money, but largely so that she can start, gaining some wins individually so that she can feel good. And now maybe that means integrating her into, your joint purpose on a day-to-day basis. Or maybe that means her beginning to design, plan, incubate, and nurture a vision in alignment to you all's joint purpose in order to further accelerate or to further diversify what our income streams are. But guess what? She's awaiting, King, for you to awaken that in her, because that is what you are called to do, to love, lead, and elevate. And what that means is we ain't getting rusty. We getting better. We getting bigger. And guess what? That means by co-laboring together, this is not about force. This is understanding, right, that I am the answer man. So what the word husband means, God has called me to be able to obtain any circumstance or situation we're dealing with, personally or professionally, the answer. The word wife means assistant to the king. It means helpmate. It means lookout, meaning you look out. We create a 360 view in order to continue to love, lead, and elevate for what? Our children's children's children, because that's what we're doing. We are laboring and grinding to be found faithful with the purpose of God that he's called us to. Not just here on earth. Yes, we're trying to, and we're working to make our days on earth as in heaven, but it's for the eternal rewards and the eternal responsibilities that we will be given eternally, as the good book tells us. But guess what? You have got to lead always on all days. And guess what? It is a mutual process, because while we are not equal, we are complementary to each other. I do my part, you do your part, and ultimately we excel, we thrive, we dominate. Because again, King, as the leader, your job is to lead her for where we want to be in 10 to 15 years, not necessarily right now. So understanding the concept of reverse engineering. If that's where we want to be, what do we need to do now to get there? And yet, that is going to be individually unique. And what does that mean? You pray about it, King. Allow God to give you the answer. And guess what? You will ablaze her heart, because her greatest desire and love for you grows not only during your absence, but specifically when you are giving her a purpose that will jointly benefit you and your children, because that is what a leader does. Ultimately, as the founder of the Developer Nation app, click the link in the bio. I want to invite you, if you've been called to real estate, whether it be small scale or large scale, to not only partner with us, but allow us to educate you and equip you so that we can expose you to our capital partners, ranging from family office to high net worth individuals, private equity, as well as hedge fund, assuming your project is viable and feasible, where we will partner through you or with you through this community that is Developer Nation app. Because ultimately, practicing group economics, our vision is to build generational wealth for our children's children, because that is how God does everything in this universe. As always, like, comment, subscribe, follow, as it helps the algorithm. And always remember that all things work together for the good of those that love God and are called according to his purpose. I will see you in the next episode.